So I'm kind of at a loss for words right now, and a bit frustrated with myself because I just went back and reread the entire Ubers vs. Bayern Munich match, and I feel like I was a bit wrong. I was overly critical reading week to week because the pacing week to week for this game was ass. Now, I know a couple of you guys are going to be annoyed about me still talking about this match, but realistically, we don't have much else to talk about besides what's coming up next, but I'm saving that for the future when we're closer to it. You understand what I'm saying? I wanted to make a video today covering just how strong Don Lorenzo really is, but I kind of stumbled upon something, and it was a realization that made me a bit frustrated with myself as well as just a bit annoyed in general, because I do have to admit I was a bit wrong. I actually enjoyed my reread through, and it was a shocking realization because for most of the reread, I wasn't hating myself, which is how I felt reading week to week throughout this match. So what was the issue? Was it the pacing and the fact that these chapters just can't really be read week to week? You have to binge it? I mean, that could be part of it, but I think I narrowed it down to what the real root of the problem is. And I talked about the issues with Baro Shoei and how they mishandled his character, or at least how he should have gone in relation to his rivalry with Isagi in my last video. Check that out if you really want to. But the real key issue at the heart and soul of the Ubers vs. Bayern Munich match is the substitution of Hiori. I was enjoying the entire match on my reread through, all the way from start to finish. Every single chapter I was like, you know what, this is a lot cooler than I remember. It's making a lot more sense than I remember. And I do have to take back some of the points I said. Lefty shot completely makes sense. I'm sorry for saying that. I was wrong. I still have an issue with Isagi teleporting, but as far as most of him's concerned throughout the rest of this match, I don't have an issue with it besides this end part, and that's because of Hiori. Now, where the issue lies with Hiori is the fact that he's kind of the real ass pull of all of this. And I know I've been complaining about Isagi left and right, front and center, haven't shut up about it. But I was a bit wrong, because the blame shouldn't be placed on him, it should be placed on Hiori for the plot armor kicking in, because Isagi's proven himself. In the last Manshine match, he leveled up exponentially, to the point where what he's doing now, it is a little absurd, and trying to justify that, oh, this little bit of training that he had time with is enough to boost that gap in between him and other people. No, I feel like that's still a bit of a jump, and they could have dialed it down a little bit, but of course it happened this way, because Isagi himself even admitted halfway through this match that at least the current him can't stack up to Baro and Kaiser. He admitted defeat for the first time this match, and for the first time in a long time. But the second that the prospect of Hiori getting subbed into the match came up, it was over. And I think we all kind of knew that, because the way that they were talking and the way that Noah raised the stakes for Isagi personally, he wasn't going to lose after that. And at the end of the day, it's just lazy writing. In my opinion, Hiori specifically is lazy writing. I will take back a lot of my criticisms for Isagi, but I'm redirecting them towards Hiori because I understand now that this is where my real issue lies. How do you randomly... Alright, I understand that Hiori was really high ranked in early Blue Lock in the third selection, and he also got a starting spot on the U20 team, as well as having a really good feat, that being, or not feat, a statement saying that his passing was on the level of Toshi Sai's, even though that's not the case. Toshi Sai is definitely better. I don't know, at this point, maybe they're going to write him to be better than Sai soon enough, but whatever. The point is, Hiori didn't play for 2 matches, and I understand, he was training alongside Isagi this whole time. He's, I guess, the reason Isagi leveled up, so, oh, that should justify everything for it, but no. No, because he himself stated that he's never experienced this type of football before. That means that he is a small fish in a big pond. He needs to be able to go through the struggles. He needs to be able to go through some sort of hardships in order to get to that level. And if you want to rival that, oh, he went through the hardships when he was younger, he's just a latent genius, no, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. When Isagi needed anything the most, a Metavision user just spawned, flashed out of nowhere. And for what reason? Because he's on Bayern Munich? No, that wouldn't be the case, because... So tell me how, all of a sudden, a Metavision user just spawns out of nowhere when Isagi needs it the most. An ability that very few people are supposed to have, and I use that term very loosely, obviously, just happens to fall into Isagi's lap when he needs it the most. And that is infuriating, because it's like, okay, by that logic, like, you're saying that, okay, Hiori having Metavision makes sense because he's been playing alongside Isagi this whole time. He's able to see the same way that he can see. Why doesn't Ness have a version of the Kaiser Eye? Why can't Ness utilize it? Why can't this be the case? You can justify Oliver Aiku having Metavision. That was already kind of showcased in the U20 match. You can justify Ikiniko having Metavision because he is stated to be the defensive version of Isagi, having eyes and a watchtower and a brain on par with Isagi's as far as field IQ, football IQ, and overall vision and game sense are concerned. But then you add Hiori into the fold, and it doesn't really make sense. Just because he's a good playmaker, like that shouldn't be the only reason, and it still is. Like, why is that? I even almost forgot to mention Rio, but for Rio it makes sense because Rio has gone through the struggles. We've seen Rio persevere. We've seen him push through and level up. But the point is, you can't make logical sense of what Hiori did in this match, and that's because it doesn't make sense. You can't justify the reasonings for him to have Metavision, and if you want to, go ahead and try. I'll be all ears, but I'm telling you, you can't. The dribbling, I don't know where that came from. I guess maybe Isagi asked Bachira to teach him and Hiori how to dribble like a fucking god, because both of them leveled up their dribbling immensely this match. I don't know how it happened, but it did. The passing makes sense. I mean, he's had that statement, but it's one statement to go off of, and it's kind of baffling that everyone's writing that one statement out, and it's used to this extent to boost his abilities to this point. And look, I know, I've been hating a lot, but I took a lot of my criticism back in this video, and I'm trying to say I'm sorry, especially to Isagi Yoichi, because I do need to apologize to him. I've been hating on him immensely, and I have been acting like he is the worst MC in the world, but after rereading the match, I do... what's the best way to put this? Not I love him again, but I remembered why I do like him as an MC. He had perfect MC moments in this match, and while I still don't think that they should have won the match and the narrative would have been set up better for him to surpass everybody in the PXG match, I guess I don't mind what they did here. I still do need to talk about what I think is going to happen in the next match, and if you want to see what's going on, you know what to do. Like, comment, sub. I'm probably going to talk about my predictions for the PXG match in tomorrow's video, but at least for now, Yo Hiori is a problem. Not just for the Blue Lockers, not just for everyone else in the Neo Egoist League, but for the reader's sanity, or at least my sanity. Some of you guys love Hiori, and Isagi especially, I know that. But if they just justify him and Isagi being better than everybody else for God knows what reason, out of the blue, then I don't know. I really don't. Because this duo came out of nowhere. Apparently this is Isagi's match made up in heaven. Since when? I thought you had Bachira. I thought you had Nagi. I thought you had Corona. What happened to him? And now, it's baffling because Corona's probably going to get Metavision since he's playing along those two. And that's the only way they're going to justify it. And then no one's going to be able to logically stop them. Because they have what? 4, almost 5 Metavision users? Including Noel Noah? It's a serious issue with the series, and you can credit it to Metavision as a whole rather than just being Hiori, but I feel like Hiori was the cause. But then again, like I said, some of you guys may love Hiori and you may not have an issue with this, and if that's the case, cool. I'm sorry for hating as much as I do. Let me know how much you hate me in the comments down below, but at least for today, that's going to be it. So, as you guys already know to do by now, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like and consider subbing up to the channel with post notifications turned on so you never miss another video. Like tomorrow's video coming out, like I said, I am probably going to talk about my opinions on what's going to happen in the PXG match or just their lineup as a whole, so stay tuned for that. And if you want any other ideas, make sure you leave them in the comments down below. But as for right now, that's all I got for you today. Love you guys. Take it easy.